What's up, Glassy gang? My name is Glassy, and we're going to be discussing something a little bit different this time, not related to gaming, but more specifically to the feud between Penguin Zero, also known as Moist Critical, also known as Charlie, and Nikocado Avocado, which honestly I've never even heard of him until recently this feud that came out, otherwise known as Nicholas Perry, a Ukrainian-born YouTube mukbang person who just essentially just sits in front of a camera while talking to you, crying and eating, my best guess would be tens of thousands of calories at one sitting. And since he posts these videos daily, my assumption is that he's eating this amount of calories daily. So we're going to be going over my point of view, which isn't going to be basically a subjective opinion. My point of view is going to be from a logical medical side to determine the actual health effects that this is having against him. It's not that he's just gaining weight. I bet you there are more medical issues that are going on within him that is more than just that. And not only that, we'll go over some of those medical issues in which he has self-proclaimed, as well as what could also be going on in there, because apparently he is afraid of seeing physicians, which he should probably start seeing one. So without tying up too much of your time, we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. So, Nikocado Avocado, otherwise known as Nicholas Perry, started out as this very slim, young, healthy-looking, pro-vegan YouTuber that went more towards the mukbangs after he started having vitamin deficiencies and other medical issues that made him, I guess, turn his life around. And ever since he started eating these large amounts of food while discussing his life and anything else, people started essentially praising him for it and wanting to follow along with his lifestyle. The downside is that lifestyle is severely unhealthy and extremely unsustainable in the long run. He's been doing this for approximately, 6 years now, the better part of half a decade. And in that time, he's gone from looking like this to looking like this. He's gone from an approximately 150 to 160 pound male all the way up to 350 plus, with the last alleged report of being 370 pounds. And this is at a current height of about 5'7". According to Nikocado Avocado, whenever he was a youngster, I'd say about 7 years old or so, he stated that he had obsessive compulsive disorder, that he had ADD, apparently was put on antidepressants at the age of 7. Obviously you'll see some kids probably put on Adderall at that time, which is also wrong, but to be put on antidepressants, most likely SSRIs, which are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And apparently in 2019, Nikocado Avocado also told Men's Health that he's suffering from ED, which is erectile dysfunction, and of loss of libido due to his binge eating, which is quite ironic considering this guy actually has an OnlyFans account that people are subscribed to, and I think the last I checked is he has 0.14% top content creators. Y'all are sick. But I digress. Some of his most recent stuff, he has been posting a lot of videos about him saying, "my life as a disabled person." And you'll see him in his videos wearing a CPAP machine, which CPAP stands for continuous positive airway pressure. Essentially, it's for OSA, which is obstructive sleep apnea. Whenever you're sleeping, you can either have the nasal mask or the entire face mask. It's going to put positive atmospheric pressure down your throat to keep the airway open so that instead of going, you can have air pushing in, opening up the airway and allowing you to breathe more freely, getting a better sleep. The fact that he's wearing it in his videos while he's awake, mouth breathing, eating, it's not really when you're supposed to wear that. That's why it's called obstructive sleep apnea. He's wearing it while wide awake, mouth breathing, eating, and then crying. And the fact that he's posting content like this.
I have a new purse.
Just shows that he probably didn't have any broken ribs, as he alleges. And if he did, broken ribs are very painful. I've dealt with many patients that have had broken ribs, and even if they have a floating rib that's broken and not necessarily a main rib, that is extremely painful. You're going to be doing something called guarding, which you're going to hold your ribs when you cough or move, because you're essentially putting pressure to kind of release the pain, so to speak. It helps. We'll typically have patients hold pillows tight instead of just holding themselves, and it helps. But not only that, his severe obesity actually is a growing health concern for him. So while most of the internet is praising him, saying, "Hey man, you're doing good, just keep doing what you're doing. Throw us more content. Let me see a shit ton of ramen." No, dude, that's really not good for him. because some of the severe consequences of morbid obesity, which his would be classified as morbid obesity at 5'7", 370 pounds, some of the main health concerns that he's going to have is, the main one is death. You could have high blood pressure, high LDLs, low HDL. I wouldn't be surprised if he had type 2 diabetes right now or coronary artery disease because of the fat deposits that are building up inside the artery causing plaque, which would cause it to harden. So here's your artery. You have the plaque going in there, closing the artery until you have a complete obstruction. Blood can't go through it. And when you have coronary arteries, you have obstruction, it causes heart death. My specialty actually is cardiology and cardiac health. So he should probably see a cardiologist. He's also at increased risk for stroke or gallbladder disease. I wouldn't be surprised at his weight if he doesn't have osteoarthritis, which would basically be a breakdown of the cartilage between his joints, especially his knees, which in some of his videos, you'll see him riding around a little electric scooter. But also with severe obesity, you can have sleep apnea, hence having the CPAP machine that he claims as he's had before while he was younger. Doubt. I can't verify that, but based off of my knowledge and what I've seen in my career, I highly doubt that. But one of the biggest things that definitely raises concern to me is the low quality of life that you can also have with severe morbid obesity, and the fact that you can have such mental illnesses as clinical depression, anxiety, or any other potential mental disorders, which is very obvious in his videos, especially with the excessive amount of crying, even if most of this is just not being his genuine self, but acting out as it is part of his character. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if his channel actually grows by turning his life around, stopping with the mukbangs, stop eating all this shit, and don't necessarily go back to veganism, but go back to something that is going to be a healthier lifestyle, and let's go ahead and watch the guy shrink, but also work on his mental health, work on his physical health. And don't worry, I'll be providing links for all of my information down in the description below. With the way that Moist Critical is going ahead and starting things out, or Penguin Zero, he was right. This YouTuber is slowly killing himself. But the fact that he's eating more and more and more per video shows that he's not slowly killing himself anymore. He's killing himself at a rapid pace. If he keeps up this unsustainable pace, he says he's almost 30 years old and he'll turn this around at 35 according to one of his last videos. It won't happen because he won't make 35. So, Nikocado, you really have to stop. You don't have to stop your YouTube channel. And I highly doubt that your sponsor dropped you because you were getting dislikes. I'm willing to bet that your sponsor dropped you because they see the mental health declination that you're having and seeing how you're breaking down, and they do not want to be associated with that character. Turn yourself around. We're not dogging on you. We're trying to help you. But we can't help you unless you help yourself. If you need somebody to talk to, have any questions, especially pertaining to anything medically related or mental health related, reach out to me. All of my information is going to be down in the description box below. But you can also go to my channel, go to the far right, and you'll find a way to reach me. Maybe we can talk. Just understand, there are people out there that are willing to help you. You just have to be willing and ready to help yourself. Anyway, guys, that's about all I kind of have right now. Let's see where this goes. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this video to reach Nikocado. If Moist wants to go ahead and jump in and talk about it as well, that's cool. Penguin Zero, Charlie, I went ahead and sent you a message on Twitter. Go ahead and take a look at it, reach back out. But that's all I have for now. So, I'll see you guys in the next video.